Culture, like a river, is always the same. Yet it is always changing as each generation flows through time. Usually, these changes are so subtle as to be almost unnoticeable. But sometimes, as when there is a flood, the changes are huge and impactful. In 2020, COVID-19 hit the world like a flood and affected one of the most important aspects of Zimbabwean culture, traditional marriages.
This is the day of our lobola. Just 10 people from my side of the family. Traditionally, I would have had almost 20 people come to witness my union. But because of COVID, some of them could not come. I even lost a close friend who was offended because she was not invited to my marriage ceremony.
I had to travel from Harare to Bulawayo, but there were a lot of restrictions. We needed travel permits. Only 6 people from my entourage managed to get permits. As we drove along, we were stopped many times by the police, asking us for travel permits. Finally, we arrived, and I saw there were only 10 people from her side of the family.
In total, we only had 16 people. I was so disappointed that we could not have many people. Just a year ago, my cousin had gotten married and the whole clan was present for her ceremony. Parents, brothers, sisters, friends, cousins, uncles and aunts.
Is everything going on well, my dear? I hope Tsano is not charging too much money.
No, he isn't. Everything is going well. That was my uncle. Culturally, he would have had to meet in person with Farai's family and mine in order to decide on the date of the ceremony. However, due to COVID, he was stuck in South Africa, so he did the communication using WhatsApp and phone calls. As you can see, today he's only here via Zoom, but his friend is standing in on his behalf.
There were no celebrations after I had paid the bride price. I did not even get to formally meet some of her family members. I still feel like I'm a stranger to her family. Instead, I immediately returned to Harare with my bride because we wanted to beat the curfew.
The next day, I went to his family home for Kuperekwa, where I was supposed to do some ceremonial chores as a way of officially meeting the rest of his family and becoming part of it. But even this was done differently and quickly. I still feel like a stranger to his family. But we are not strangers to each other. We met, fell in love, and got married during the pandemic. Because we could not meet as frequently as we wanted, We were forced to find new ways to communicate, and that strengthened our relationship.
The challenges of organizing Lobola during a pandemic brought us even closer to each other.
Our story is just one of the many stories of real people whose Lobola ceremony was affected by the pandemic. When coronavirus began to spread and more people were affected, it became easier to use numbers instead of names. We became statistics. Number of new infections, number of deaths, number of recoveries. Even our daily lives were measured in number of lockdown days. 14 days, 21 days, an additional 14 days, then another 21 days. But I am not just a statistic. I am a real human being like you. My name is Chipo.
And my name is Farai.
Like everyone else who did Lobola in 2020, we had to compromise on some old customs and adopt new ones. Now the flood of the pandemic seems to be subsiding, but the question remains, has the river of culture changed its course forever?